Good day, everyone, and welcome to a Minute for Ministry channel and Cornerstone Wednesday. I'm your host, Minister RQ. We thank you for tuning in as we start another segment today. I want to give a good shout out to the Cornerstone youth over at Cornerstone IBC, the Jewels for Christ, JC Girls, and the Boys of Men. I want to say thank you for all that you do and for participating. We hope that you're enjoying basketball and Bibles every Wednesday night at Cornerstone from 6:30 until 7:45. Thank you for joining. We hope that if you had time to come out and see us, we'd love to have you there. Last week, we talked a great deal about, helping the poor, us providing peace to the poor and how we can do so. We talked about how we're able to offer a sense of peace to them. Not the type of peace that Christ said that he leaves for us. The only thing that he ever said that he left for us was that peace, not the peace that the world gives, but we're talking about the peace of Christ. It's not what we're on. We're talking about the peace that we in the world that believe and have a Christian worldview are able to offer those here in the world. We're talking about, how the word poor has variable meanings. We can be poor in spirit. We can be poor financially. We can be poor mentally. We can be poor in our health, just having unhealthy bodies. You got people that say that, oh, poor baby, things of that nature. But no matter how you look at it, if you're spiritually bankrupt, if you're challenged mentally, if you're challenged physically, we know that poor is not a good label for us to have. We understand that that label is placed upon us, but many times we do things in our own actions to bring that label upon us that is used when we are called poor in any kind of way. So it makes you perhaps wonder, how did one become poor in the first place? Or how did I get poor in the first place? How did I get here? And that brings us to today's focus, which is the you that you created. Some of you may have heard it said that, the only destiny that we have is the destiny that we created. And many times, that's true, but there are exceptions to some rules. Certainly, there's exceptions to every rule. There are circumstances that don't fit every category. There are many times you have situations where it just doesn't fit the way that other things fit for other people. And as much as we want to believe it, and as much as we want to say it and try to have a conviction with it, there are things that, you can say, like, you can be anything you want to be, or you can go anywhere you want to go. You can do anything you want to do in this world. And in a lot of regards, that's true, but there are also some limits, and there are some areas or capacity of one's ability that may not attribute them to be able to do certain things. I mean, if you look at basketball, you look at the transformation of things that have happened in the past. Basketball players at certain positions are getting more skill, and they're getting taller, and they're still tall. You got people that have a height advantage over even players on the court that made it to certain levels of basketball, whereas if you have an exception of certain people like, Spud Webb, or you have, Nate Robinson, you have that very, very narrow window of exceptions that people are just simply gifted. They just got a talent to do certain things like jump high. They either worked on it, they practiced it, or they just honed the skills that naturally gave to them. Everyone doesn't have that ability to do so. So everyone won't be able to play at that level that they play. No matter how much you tell someone you can do what you want to do, the point is that's not always true. Now, you can play basketball if you want to, but at what level is something totally different. There are certain avenues and blessings and gifts that we have that don't get, given to other people. You hear the term sometimes, I wasn't around when God was giving out that gift, or something similar to like, where was I when I got that gift? So as much as you want to believe it, that's not always true. You hear people say, she overcame or he overcame poverty to become this big star, this big person. They fought through abuse, and now they're this, and now they're that. They had boundaries that were out of their control, and they fought through it. Again, that's good for them, and that's true for them, but there are exceptions, and there are certain avenues and blessings and gifts bestowed upon certain people that are not available to other people. And there are also people that are willing to sacrifice certain values, certain morals. They're willing to sacrifice certain aspects of their humanity to get in these places. Some people are even willing to sacrifice their freedom in one way or another to get to some of the places that they have reached, where other people are saying, wow, how did you do this? How did this happen? Wow, I've tried so hard, and I write and I read and I study. How did you get to this place? Well, we don't know all of the sacrifices that they made. Not just studying, not just trying hard, not just saving money. We don't know what else they really gave to get to that point. And we know some people are willing to do almost anything to be with somebody, to have fame. They're willing to lie and cheat to get a car. They're willing to, lie on their tax report, to get a house. Some people are willing to do some things that others just not. We have to take that into consideration when we think about what people do to get in certain circumstances that are viewed from the outside as positive or fruitful. All in all, in the end, though, what is true is that life is what you make it for yourself. The same opportunities that this person has over here, there's a chance that you had. The same doors that were open and availability to walk through those doors, that same door can be for you. It starts in the beginning. It starts with studying. It starts with trying. It starts with the way that you are in school, the way you are at home with your parents. It starts with the people you hang around with. Choices that you make early in life many times heavily dictate where you are later on in life. And many of the negative choices we make that we do, especially in certain areas and communities and with certain people, you can make one bad choice and you can end up in prison for a long time just on one bad choice. You can go to one area that you were told don't go there, your mom and dad said don't go there, and you go visit that area and you already were told don't go there, and something could happen to you that physically impacts your life. Choices early on have an impact of your decisions or doors that open later on. So when you think about it, you have created an image, you have done something within yourself that stifled your growth, or that held you back, or that maybe shut some doors that would have been available. Now, because you do get the opportunity to wake up in the morning, you can fix that. You can get yourself to a place where these doors that you thought were shut for good can reopen or can open for your betterment. So you have made yourself to be this before, but the younger you are, the better you are to get out of those habits, out of those things that can weigh you down. And habit is an awful thing to have on you when it's a negative habit. So we make the person that we are. And many times we're unaware of that person that we have become as we get older, because you've been that person for so long and people have tolerated the negative behavior, and people have just said, oh, don't worry about that. That's how she is. That's how she is. And they give that person a pass. So it's okay, because now you have different elements of coddling that this person may receive from being this way. You hear people say, oh, you're getting on my nerves, or you're making me mad. Okay, you're making me angry. And they do something in the action of being made angry, or made upset, or made sad or depressed. They then create an act, or they perform an act that was totally out of character for a person that has a good, sound, logical thought process. Were they really under control by someone else? Did they really do this because of what someone said or did to them? Or was it just the way that they have made themselves to be? But look, you can try to shake off negativity on your own, but the best thing to do is not to receive it in the first place. People have been in a bad mood every morning their whole life. It's not going to be easy for them just to stop being in a bad mood, because they created this, and this negative charged behavior is who they made themselves to be. But hey, don't let me try to change your mind and tell you about yourself and what you can do. Let's take a minute for ministry and jump into scripture and see what the word has to say about the you created. Exodus 9th chapter, 12th verse. We're coming from the Amplified Bible Classic Edition and the International Children's Bible. And what it says is, but the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, making it strong and obstinate, and he did not listen to them or heed them, just as the Lord had told Moses. That's the Amplified Classic. Then we have the International Children's Bible, which states that, but the Lord made the king stubborn. So he refused to listen to Moses and Aaron. This happened just as the Lord had said. This is one of my favorite verses when it comes down to looking at how people are. You know, I smile a lot of times behind my stare, behind my content flat face. And I look through people and I try to see them the way God sees them. And I think about Pharaoh. And that's why I call it the Pharaoh syndrome. So here you are, you have this king of kings. You have this man that's over all these people in Egypt. All he had to do is let these people go. Just let them go. Now, not just let them go because I said so, but you've had plagues. You had locusts, frogs, bloody rivers, darkness. You've had all these negative things happen to you. And the verse can be confusing for somebody that don't look into it. It says, you know, the Lord hardened his heart. And so you're thinking, okay, I thought God wanted Moses to go and free the Hebrew slaves at the time in Egypt. Why would he harden the heart of the Pharaoh? Well, he didn't harden the heart by just saying, I'm going to send Moses here to waste his time. I'm going to make Pharaoh not do it. No. Human nature hardened the Pharaoh's heart. God made human nature. We have free will in this nature. But by nature, the Pharaoh had been this way for so long, he just could not bear to relinquish his control or his power. So his heart was hardened because he made himself be this way. Over time, he just hardened. He just wouldn't break. Stubborn. Human nature does that. You have some people that won't listen to nobody. You can write it. You can spell it out. You can show them a TV series. You can tell them all day how they're wrong. Everyone else can tell them, but they just think that they're right because of a certain position or status that they have. And they feel like, oh, you know, I've been this way for so long and they got me here or they got me to this point. I must be doing something right. It's okay. You got to deal with it because, hey, I'm right. And that is just not the case. That's just not the case. People will be placed in your life that challenge you and that make you feel a certain kind of way because of how they feel. But the thing you always want to do is give them grace the same way God gives you grace. Give them forgiveness the same way that you're forgiven. Pharaoh just didn't know. You're not going to win this. He just going to fight to the bitter end. And he still lost. So, hey, try to break yourself out of human nature. The person you created that says, I can't function without my coffee in the morning. Or the one that says, I fought hard to get this position. You're going to respect me because of it. Or the one that says, you know, you came to me and asked me to marry you. You can leave when you want to. Fight those type of negative behaviors that push people away and create a new you that is sustainable through the word and happiness and joy that is due for you to have. Jeremiah 9:23 and 24, the English Standard Version. And what Jeremiah 9th chapter 23rd and 24th verse says is that, thus says the Lord, let not the wise man boast in his wisdom. Let not the mighty man boast in his might. Let not the rich man boast in his riches. But let him who boasts in this, that he understands and knows me, that I am Lord who practices steadfast love, justice, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, declares the Lord. So you may have certain riches. You may have wisdom. You may have all the degrees in the world. You may have the title. You may have the things that says I'm mighty. You may have power or a certain position. Boasting in those things is creating a you that is not looked at with a great deal of delight. It's not going to happen. But if you can have these things. It says it right here. You can have these things. You can be wise. You can be rich. You can be mighty and powerful. But if you know God, then you will practice love. You will practice justice and righteousness right here on earth as we live in, because these are things that delight the Lord. Not boasting about them, not holding things over people's head, not trying to put your foot down on people, not trying to demand certain things and bend people to your will, because we all got free will to make choices to be who we want to be. But there are consequences, negative and positive, to some of the actions that we choose. So what we're saying here is that you can have all these great things here on earth, but be careful how you utilize them and put God first with them by giving justice, by giving love, and by being righteous, as you have these things that many people boast about and use to the negative. Mark 6th chapter, 31st verse, the easy to read version. And it says as follows: Jesus and his followers were in a very busy place. There were so many people that he and his followers did not even have time to eat. He said to them, "Come with me. We will go to a quiet place to be alone. There we will get some rest." A lot of times we make ourselves frustrated, we make ourselves tired, we make ourselves weary, we make ourselves not be in a good mood to deal with those that truly love us in the end. We go to work, we work all day, we work extra shifts, we come home, we don't want to deal with the people that we love. We work 20, 30 years, we retire, and days have gone by, time has passed, people are still living their lives, your children, your grandchildren, and we're sitting there wishing that we can have that time back. I went to work too much. You're not enjoying life now. You're retired. You're sitting at home, and you didn't spend a lot of time with your family. And you realize how all the people that you saw at work, were all temporary, and now your family is all that you have. What happens when you're in college or you're at school or you're at work, and all the laughing stops, all the pats on the back that you get from people? What kind of person are you creating yourself to be when you lean on things that are known to be temporary? You know these things to be temporary, and you look at family, and family for the most part is something that's consistent if you have allowed yourself to be this family-oriented person. At the end of the day, they're going to love you more than anybody, than the water cooler wives that talk to you. They're going to love you more than, the basketball team or the football team. They're typically are going to be there when everyone else fades away out of your life. So are you making yourself to be the person that is not going to take a break? You're not going to go to a quiet place and relax? Everyone needs to reset at some time. Everyone needs to do a form of self-care in their life that helps them to reset and get some value back in their life. You may not afford to go to Antigua. You might be able to not go to Barbados. I'm saving up to go. I can't afford it now, but I will be able to afford it next year, and I'm going to leave. But in the meantime, nothing's wrong with Biloxi. Ain't nothing wrong with driving down. Ain't nothing wrong with going to St. Louis and getting a nice hotel away from everybody. There's nothing wrong with shooting up to Nashville or catching a plane to D.C. or just taking a quick trip to New York for the weekend and visit some different sites there. You have to take the time to be alone in a quiet place so that you can reset yourself and become a better you. If Christ had all the power, if the Messiah was the chosen one to be all things, he had everything that he needed, but he still needed to take a break, you're going to tell me that you don't? Whoa, wait. The word even says God. On which day? On what day? He stopped. He rested. He took a break. He didn't feel like making anything. All of this is for an example. It's an example for us. Because you have some people that would get off work from all week, and then the days off that they have, they would still work. They would still feel like, I got to cut the grass, I got to do the roof, I got to do this, they're always busy. Christ and his followers were in a very busy place. There were so many people that he had followers, so many that he didn't even have time to eat. That is a bad situation when you can't even enjoy your lunch. You can't even enjoy your meal with your family. You can't even enjoy the meal with yourself. Take the time to have some self-care to create a better you. Don't make the you be stagnant and tired and busy all the time. The you that you have right now in your life, as far as we know, is the only you you're going to get. Take care of it. Hey, I thank you for tuning in to aMin4Ministry channel and for watching this segment of Cornerstone Wins as we talked about being and creating a you that you created. We hope that you tuned in last week to the Come On Prayer Line with Reverend Michelle Bird. It was a joyful night of prayer, of 7 dynamic prayer warriors that came together to bring the Spirit closer to everyone. But if you didn't catch it, you can watch it here on the Minute for Minute channel, or you can see the next episode starting tomorrow at 7 p.m. to 7:30. That's the Come On Prayer Line with Reverend Michelle Bird. Hey everyone, I thank you for tuning in. As always, do me a favor. Let's get the subscribers up. Let's get the shares up. Take this word and use it to touch somebody that you know may need it. You don't go to church, you don't read the word. Well, it's about hearing. The word will come about hearing, and then hopefully if you can hear it later on, you'll be able to do it. So please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share aMin4Ministry channel. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you have a blessed and peaceful day.